Well, thank you, Steve. Well, taking a look at your forecast right now, and just a reminder, right now is a great time to go ahead and download the Fox 10 weather app. That way you're staying updated with the forecast as things are turning pretty active out there. Now, with the Futurecast option, you do have the advantage to just be able to zoom in based on your location, plus also look at that 6-hour Futurecast option. So in case you do have any evening plans for tonight, you can go ahead, drag along, and just check out where you're located. But let's go ahead and dive deeper into what exactly I am tracking out there, and things look very active across the southeast. We're starting to see more of those showers and thunderstorms beginning to pop up in the Fox 10 viewing area. Higher chances as you do travel further north. This is something that we are anticipating, putting the higher potential on the north side of I-10 throughout today. That's exactly what we're seeing, especially closer towards our Mississippi counties. On the north side of Leakesville, just up towards Sand Hill and Clark, really just starting to see some of that moderate to heavy rainfall. Quite a few lightning strikes out there, so it is pretty active. Also more of those showers just on the south side of Chatham, moving through Fruitdale and Vinegar Bend. So in case you're going to be traveling in that area anytime soon, especially on Highway 45, just make sure you're driving carefully, as you could possibly see some of that ponding water and also some low visibility. Also closer towards I-65, once you get into Baldwin County, starting to see some of those heavy showers. More of that closer towards Stapleton and just closer towards Spanish Fort. And then as we look closer on the Florida side, Chumuckla and Allentown, just starting to see some of those showers, very isolated closer towards Santa Rosa County and Okaloosa counties, but still starting to see some of those heavy downpours. Live view outside from our Navigator Credit Union camera at the Battleship. Gray, gloomy, overcast skies, still some peaks of sunshine, winds a little more breezy out there. They're out of the south-southeast, closer towards 10 to 15 miles per hour, but higher humidity, so the feels like temperatures right now feeling more like 83. Temperatures all across the Gulf Coast, really just starting to see some of those warmer conditions as you travel further towards really the northeast. But if you look towards Leakesville, it's 72, but that's because of all of that rain that they're experiencing, helping just to cool it down a bit. And then later on for this evening, in case you do have any of those sports practices or games, still looking the potential for some of those isolated storms. Again, really putting the higher chances on the north side of I-10. And even then later on this evening, I'd put the higher chances for Washington and Clark counties. Temperatures falling to the mid 70s once we get closer towards 7 p.m. with some mostly cloudy skies. But I'm going to talk more about your forecast and what I'm tracking over the next few days. That's coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Jennifer, thank you. And she's going to join me for your story. And if you're new to this show, this is where we share your pictures you guys have sent in. And we get them from really all over. There's also a station in Arizona that has the same name as us, Fox 10. And so sometimes we get pictures from Arizona. And we think this is probably one of those.
Yeah, this is probably one of those. But hey, we still like to share them, especially to talk about what folks over that way are starting to see. So this one is from Giovanni in Gila Bend on 238 in Arizona.
That's beautiful. You don't see cactus
stunning
here.
No, you don't. You definitely don't see anything like that here. We do have some vibrant sunsets like that, but just the shadow that they're creating, that really is beautiful.
Yeah, very, very pretty shot. A great quality picture taken as well. So
like some of them are a little out of focus. They're a little fuzzy. I like that. Great capture. So thank you to the folks over in Arizona, even though they do likely make that mistake of sending it in. But hey, we still love to see it.
We like the different view of scenery. The Vic sent us this one. This is local. Beautiful clouds right here in Mobile.
I love it. You can start to see some of the little wispy cirrus clouds out there. Just a bright, sunny, beautiful day. I would like to see more of those. It's a little gray and gloomy out there right now.
Yeah, the past 2 days have kind of been a little gray, but I haven't ran into any rain, and you'll get some sun spurts here and there.
Right, and so always appreciate a nice blue sunny day. So thank you to the Vix for sending in this one. Well, also we have this one in from Tracy Wilson. She's saying Roscoe poses for an Easter picture, and they are located in Crestview.
Smiling really big, the tongue hanging out. Love that shot. That's a cute little puppy dog. Jack Russell Terrier, I think.
Yep. Roscoe's been good for Easter, so I'm sure the Easter Bunny really delivered for Roscoe, and he's very happy.
Some nice treats, maybe a new collar or something like that. Who knows?
Happy
Thanks.
Roscoe.
Yeah, thank you for sending that picture of your precious Roscoe. Angie Landrum sends us her precious Poe.
Poe's playing in the flowers.
Titled Poe and the Posies.
Oh, cute.
I don't even know if those are posies. Just wildflowers out there probably, but beautiful shot. look, Poe's like kind of a model right there.
A little bit. I could just imagine Poe just running through the flowers, all happy. It even has a little bandana on too.
Oh, cutie. I love that one too.
Well, also we have this one in from Mark Langen. This is Brutus waiting for the dog walking forecast. There you go, Maddie B. You got to put Brutus on.
Yep. That's going to let, Brutus know if it's sunshiny or what the temperatures are outside, if it's going to be okay to walk, or are you going to be going through some puddles and getting rained on out there?
Or it's going to be hot over the next few days for some of these dog walking. So got to do them earlier in the morning. So Brutus, keep that in mind. Do it earlier in the day.
Okay. Thank you for sending in your pictures. Continue to send them in to us on fox10tv.com or either one of our news or weather apps.
Yep, we're always sharing whatever you have to show us there, so we love to get them in. But coming up in just a little bit, we're going to be talking more about some of the big stories out there, plus also talking more about your forecast.
Yep, and we've got a question of the day that you guys have been weighing in on social media, so we'll ask it and we'll reveal some of your answers right after this. Back in. One airplane stowaway suspect could be spending time in the slammer.
Yeah, so surveillance video provided by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey shows a woman in New York sneaking onto a New York to Paris flight last November.
Oh, the woman snuck onto a group of passengers and snuck past gate agents at the John F. Kennedy Airport in Queens.
The prosecutors say that the video shows Svetlana Dali bypassing 2 ticket agents and checking boarding passes, and later just strolling onto an air bridge with other passengers.
Dali pleaded not guilty to a stowaway charge. I did not think that was possible, as strict as they are at gates, and they don't miss much, so that is a little creepy that she got by.
Right, I'm trying to look at the video there. Yeah, it just doesn't even really seem to scan anything. And also to manage to get past the initial security too, when you go through TSA.
Right.
So
interesting how she did that.
Yeah, very concerning there. But
okay, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman says using basic manners such as please and thank you with ChatGPT cost the company, quote, tens of millions of dollars in electricity expenses.
Yeah, listen to this. So according to a 2024 study, around 67% of Americans regularly use the courteous language when interacting with chatbots.
The cost of being nice is costing OpenAI. Estimates indicate that generating one AI written response consumes an amount of energy comparable to keeping 14 LED bulbs lit for an hour.
And on the topic of whether or not it matters if you are respectful in your messaging to AI, design system expert Curtis Beavers from Microsoft Copilot says being nice in your actions helps, quote, generate respectful collaborative outputs.
Okay, another expert says when AI recognizes politeness from its user, it's more likely to be polite in its response.
And Altman jokingly said on X the extra money was well spent because, quote, you never know.
And that's what I said a long time ago, even when Siri, which is AI, Siri has been out for a while, and I used to say, I always say please and thank you to Siri because I've seen iRobot, and you never know what these robots could do. And so now it's kind of like memes I see all over the internet, like I'm saying please and thank you to AI because I don't want that robot to come to life.
That's right. Like I've found myself doing it to like ChatGPT and stuff if I ever type in the responses, but if my Alexa could say anything back, I've said some not very nice things to the Alexa. It has frustrated me.
Alexa, be quiet.
I know. Yeah, stop, Alexa. So I get it though. I would always be careful, but wow, to cost that much money.
That's wild. Wild for sure. Silly. Okay, the world famous Rockettes hold auditions ahead of its 100th season.
And it's happening at the Rockettes' home, Radio City Music Hall in New York City.
Yeah, those auditioning are being considered for the 2025 Christmas Spectacular and the Rockettes Dancer Development Program.
You have to have a really high tolerance in athletic, strong. They do strength training, they do aerobic training, they do dance training. So all of those things encompass being a great Rockette.
The first round of auditions happened yesterday with callbacks today and tomorrow. Jen, I think that's a pretty tough job.
I know.
Heel kicks.
Look at the kicking. That's something that always sticks out to the Rockettes. One of their signature moves when they all line up. I'm ready for it. Bring me the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yes.
I'm already here for it.
Okay, Christmas Spectacular. Here we come.
Here we come.
All right, check this out.
I was checking it out. Yeah, NASA has released this image showing a fragment of an asteroid with its unique peanut shape.
Okay, the photo was captured by NASA's Lucy spacecraft on Sunday as it passed by the asteroid.
So the space agency said it was formed about 150 million years ago.
It's estimated to be about 5 miles long and 2 miles wide.
And the full asteroid isn't visible in this photo.
NASA said it will take its team about a week to downlink the remainder of the data from the Lucy spacecraft to get a better idea of the asteroid's overall shape. It looks like a tooth.
It does, yeah.
Close up.
And I sort of see the peanut shape.
Yeah, I
Not
guess.
quite. I need to get the full picture before I can figure it out, because it could totally go off in one direction and it's not going to be a peanut anymore.
We need it, NASA.
We do.
All right, 20 years ago, history was made.
The very first YouTube video was uploaded.
It was called Me at the Zoo, and the 19-second clip features YouTube co-founder Javed Karim in front of an elephant exhibit.
He was only 25 years old at the time, and Karim is one of the company's 3 founders, all of whom previously worked at PayPal.
YouTube was a very fast success. Just 18 months later, it would be sold to Google for $1.65 billion worth of stock.
And all of that happened when you had to watch it on only a computer screen.
I remember those days. The iPhone was still several months away from launching. I think the first, this is gonna trigger some people's memories, but I think the first YouTube video I ever remember watching was Old Greg. Do you remember that?
It sounds familiar.
It was so silly, just stupid, really. I'm Old Greg. It was just different.
I remember my days of Tosh.0 watching that.
Oh,
It really
yeah.
went through some of those old YouTube videos. I remember the guy originally with the Maya Ah that was singing. I think he had to do it. I think he was doing it as part of like a date. I think to get a girl.
I don't
He
remember
did that
that
one. Yeah. I remember the most annoying thing in the world, which is like this weird frog. But it had I can't think of the movie. It uses a movie song in it, and we heard it recently because we were watching that movie. And YouTube has some wild stuff.
Yes, it does. It's come a long way. There's so many videos on it, and it generates a lot of money. A lot of influencers use it as well.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about your forecast. And just a reminder, you can always head to the Fox 10 YouTube page in case you ever miss any of our forecasts. Plus, also our next weather segments are always uploaded there too. In case you want to do a deeper dive into the forecast, we do have those for you daily just after 2:30 p.m. But taking a live view outside down in Orange Beach, quite a few spring breakers getting out there and enjoying it. Still a little bit of rough surf, but plenty of sunshine out there. Things are looking beautiful. Just looking toasty. Temperatures in the upper 70s, but feeling more like 81. We're starting to see more of those breezy winds just out of the south-southeast, closer towards 10 miles per hour. But the rip current risk, it's moderate today. Seeing a few yellow flags out there and some single red flags out there. We'll start to see some minor improvements, hopeful into tomorrow. And then by the weekend, it starts to bump back up. The main takeaway, although we're going to start to see some of those fluctuations, is just be cautious. Make sure that you're being careful out there. Always know the name of the specific beach you're located on, where the closest lifeguard stand is. Now, our evening planner heading into tonight, temperatures are going to be falling to the mid-70s once we get closer towards 7 p.m. Some cloudy skies out there. Inland spots have the higher chances at seeing some of those spotty and isolated storms out there. But as you can see, it's really starting to track out of here once we get closer towards 7 o'clock. Some spotty sprinkles beginning to pop up, but things turn quiet heading into the overnight hours. We will start to see some of that cloud cover start off for tomorrow morning, and then even some peaks of sunshine out there. We did go ahead and bring in a 20% chance for some showers out there. Wants to bring it mainly to our inland areas later on in the evening. Something just to monitor as we get further along into your Thursday. But your full day planner temperatures slowly beginning that upward trend, more of those lower to mid 80s out there, some increased cloud cover. And over the next 3 days, we did go ahead and add in some of those rain chances out there, mainly around that 20 to 30% over the next few days as we do get closer. But we'll continue to keep you updated. Meteorologist Nicholas Herboso will keep you updated later on Fox 10 News at 4, 5, 9, and 10 o'clock.
All right, Jen's going to join us for today's question of the day, and it is, what's on your bucket list? So tomorrow is actually National Bucket List Day. That's what brings us to this question.
I was going to say, do you have anything?
I really want to travel more, but I don't know. I got to think about it a little bit more.
Well,
What about you?
I think mine would also be traveling. I really want to go to Australia and probably the Polynesian Islands. I think those are going to be my, and Japan. I think I would prefer Japan over Polynesia.
Yes. Okay. I would love to go to Japan as well. That can be on our bucket list.
There you go. Well, we also asked some of you, and Carla Clark says that hers is a trip to New York City and Las Vegas.
Okay. I've actually never been to New York City, but I have been to Vegas.
They're both fun.
Yeah, they're both in their own way, I'm sure. Not that I've been to New York, but they're different, I would say.
I went to New York recently, but it was only for a day. I haven't been to Vegas since I've been over 21. I went when I was in high school and I loved it.
Yeah.
I actually went to college before I was 21, but just to be able to go to the shows there, the pools are nice. They have some nice restaurants there, so it's always a fun trip.
Something for most every adult or almost adult.
Yep, almost adult too.
All right, Lily Dupois says Hawaii and Greece. Greece is definitely on my bucket list. Hawaii too. Those are good ones. I would agree with that one.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that one. Both the tropical vibes, one in the U.S., one a bit more abroad. But we're definitely keeping with the traveling trend because Shelby Lee Mason says take a trip to New York City.
Okay, Shelby, I like your name. Good one there. Yep, New York's a popular place, so maybe me and you the two Shelbys can get to go to New York soon.
And if you do go, I highly recommend going around Thanksgiving, Christmas. Not right at the holidays, but around that time.
To see the lights and everything?
It's the most magical time to go there.
Okay.
Highly recommend. Well, also we have Christy Dupree, and she says returning to the Holy Land.
Oh, Israel.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely on the bucket list too. I know obviously now's not the best time necessarily to go with the war and everything going on, but yeah, that would be a bucket list for sure too.
My mom and dad actually ended up doing that one. They did it more of an organized tour, and he always wanted to take us back there. And it just didn't quite work out, so I would like to go eventually.
Yeah, in memory of your dad.
Yep.
All right, Ken Brandel, Switzerland, hiking in the Alps.
You do it, Ken.
Yes, my
You
brother
do it.
did this. His honeymoon, they went to Switzerland.
Oh,
So
we went 2 years ago to Switzerland, and it's absolutely stunning. But
yes.
to do the hiking though, I respect that, Ken. I couldn't do that.
That's some real mountains out there. Not
is.
like here, in the South.
Right.
So, well, you can continue to weigh in on today's question of the day. It's on my social media page. Let us know what's on your bucket list.
And as always, we have more Fox 10 Live on the way after this.